Hi everybody, the ICT Unconference is getting ready to come to Wichita in late April. It's an awesome opportunity for entrepreneurs to network and collide. We'll explain what that means in just a bit, but first I want to introduce three guests who are here with me today. Down at the end we have Kenton Hansen, who is an ambassador for the ICT Unconference. We also have Trish Braystead, who is one of the organizers, and seated next to me is Gary Oborny, who is also an ambassador and mentor, as well as the chair of the Entrepreneurship Leadership Council. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you.
Okay, well first just explain what in the heck is the ICT Unconference.
Well, it's an event that's coming to Wichita to provide an opportunity for entrepreneurs to network, to collide, to share experiences and ideas. And the thought really is to be a catalyst for activity later. We're trying to basically beef up the startup ecosystem in Wichita, and we're trying to use this event as an opportunity to do just that. So we're trying to make sure we get engaged all entrepreneurs and those maybe even aspiring entrepreneurs as well.
And what does collide mean? Will you explain that?
Basically just an opportunity to come and collaborate. The more people know about what you're doing and what you're trying to accomplish, probably the better chance you're going to have of being successful at doing such. So we're just trying to provide an opportunity for people to start networking and collaborating on a regular basis. And so we're hoping that this event is the start of that.
Sounds exciting. And tell us, when is it and where will it be?
It's Tuesday, April 22nd at the Wichita Marriott Hotel. And starts about 8:30 in the morning. It'll go all day, and we'll wrap up about 4:30 with a networking reception.
And Gary, will you talk a little bit about the format for the day?
Sure. Basically what's going to happen is right now on the internet there's a number of questions and topics that are being presented as a conversation. And then before the conference starts, then a number of those particular topics will be chosen, and then the entrepreneurs and the business community and those involved in the Unconference will be able to discuss those and bring those topics up, and then again collide on those ideas and see if they can come up with some useful topics or useful ways to activate after the conference.
Okay, so if I show up and we pick a certain topic, give me an example of what some of the topics might be.
I'm excited to hear about investor funding in Wichita and where a startup company could find someone who's willing to invest even a small amount of money to hopefully get them kickstarted, get them launched beyond just operating and into making revenue. That's one opportunity, but at the same time it could just be helpful tools that entrepreneurs have experience with and have found useful for themselves.
And what are some of the other topics people are choosing from?
Well, one of the things that's been fairly popular is trying to find people with different skill sets, different coding experience, and I think if we're going to build a vibrant software and IT cluster, that we've got to understand what the skill set of the people are that live in our community, and I think that's something that some of the entrepreneurs are very interested in learning about, sort of what exists from an asset base out there and what the qualifications are. And if there aren't the right qualifications, what do we do to make sure that we create an environment where we can actually get folks that actually have the experience in the skill set that we need for them to get their businesses growing and prospering.
Mm-hmm. And so if I show up and I'm attending one of these sessions, what is it like once I get there? Is there somebody leading the discussion, or is it just kind of a round table?
Yeah, basically what happens is the first hour of the morning is spent by all participants voting on the topics. And it's broken up into three segments that will have 4 ongoing rooms at a time for content. So that's up to 12 topics. And we'll all vote. We'll spend about an hour voting. We'll take the stuff that came off the internet, and then everybody who's there that morning will have an opportunity to vote for their favorite content topics. We'll split up into rooms. The ambassadors and mentors will be providing some facilitation, because again, it's less about standing up and having someone present a PowerPoint. It's about having a facilitated discussion about so that you can take into consideration all the expertise that's in the room. We do have some folks that we've identified as resource partners who have done this before. We're partnering with Think Big from Kansas City. They had an event last fall. So they're fairly experienced in this type of format. It's a format that's actually growing all over the country, which is one of the reasons why we wanted to bring it to Wichita. So that's what will happen. We'll pick those topics, then you as a participant can pick which of those rooms you'll go in 3 different times during the day. We'll have a lunch breakout. We've actually got a keynote speaker who is a space entrepreneur So he's got some technology that was licensed and developed with NASA to talk. And then we're going to do in the afternoon, we're going to carve out a piece that we're calling it's sort of like a demo. Most entrepreneurs have heard of demo, where you get up and give a 60 to 90 second pitch. So we're going to give an opportunity of about an hour for folks to have a chance to get to the microphone and talk about anything they want to talk about, whether or not it's their business or a challenge they've got or those kind of things. So the day is going to be broken up into 3 or 4 different components. So we're hoping that it appeals to the masses.
So when you have that open mic opportunity, do they get feedback from all the other participants? Does everybody get like 5 minutes for a response, or how does that work?
Yeah, no, really it's just 60 to 90 seconds to speak. Those who are interested in the things that the topic that the speaker may have talked about, then would have an opportunity to network later. It's really just to get an idea out there to kind of figure out where people's heads are at, so that you can then gravitate towards those folks for the networking opportunity.
And that's probably good for you guys to know what the needs are too.
Absolutely. We're hoping that one of the sessions, actually, we spend some time talking about what some of the gaps and in the resources and the things that the entrepreneurs need, which is why it's really important to get as many entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs as we can to the event. Because it's about them. It really is. It's about them having a voice and having a voice and a say for what Wichita's going to look like over the next 10 years in the world of entrepreneurship.
I think to that end, the successful entrepreneurial communities that we can think of, San Francisco, Boulder, New York, Austin, all of those places, the momentum came from within the entrepreneurship community. And this is kind of a spark, a jump start to get the entrepreneurial community pushing forward and building that momentum. Without that group, that core group of people trying to make things happen, things will continue to not happen. Objects at rest tend to stay at rest. So this is an opportunity for the people who may be out there who are disconnected or who aren't connected yet to kind of stake their claim in the community and say, I'm here and I'm doing things and I want to be a part of this city, this community, and what's happening in the future.
And I think it's also important that the active business community, those that are in business now, accounting, banking, lawyers, attorneys, things of that nature, that we're also involved in this so that we can surround those new entrepreneurs and those young budding entrepreneurs so that we can help them to execute on their ideas and bring their businesses to the forefront and be able to activate on those.
Will you and Ken, will you guys both talk a little bit about your entrepreneurial backgrounds and how you got involved with this?
Go ahead.
I have been a part of, and I'm doing math in my head right now, of at least 5 different startup businesses in the past 5 years. Everything from advertising agencies to software as a service companies to, I guess what you could call real estate with a Labor Party, which is a co-working space. My goal, my passion, the thing that I'm really excited about is making new things happen. And where I'm at is Wichita, and so I want to make things happen here. One of the most exciting things that I've ever experienced in my life is talking with someone, recognizing a perspective that I've never seen before, and a problem that they see that I don't, and then their solution to that and how they intend to capitalize on that, how they intend to turn that into a profit, into revenue, to build the economy.
Mm-hmm.
For me, presently I'm the managing partner for about 25 different entities, different companies that are in about 7 different industries, from oil and gas to real estate development in the Midwest and at a national basis, hotel. We're also in the wine and spirits business, alternative energy. And also farming at different levels, organic and industrial farming. So a number of varieties of experiences. My first experience was at 18 years old. I started a landscape construction business, and from there launched with a fairly entrepreneurial future as far as diversifying into other companies and getting involved in those. So I've lived that. I've seen where these new entrepreneurial individuals have started and what it takes to scale those companies and grow them and build them and manage them and then sometimes sell them. So I've been through the whole gamut as far as the life cycle of a company, and so I hope to be able to sit down with those young entrepreneurial individuals and be able to share experiences with them and help them to push forward.
Sure, that's invaluable. And then Trish, will you talk a little bit about your background and how you...
Sure. Well, I've spent about the last 20 years as an entrepreneur myself, and then supporting entrepreneurship. I kind of call myself the entrepreneurial ecosystem evangelist, the 3 E's. Because what I quickly figured out back in raising funds, and I really got started with entrepreneurs and funding entrepreneurs. And what I quickly figured out was that not only do entrepreneurs need money, but they need a lot of other resources. They need talent and time and coaching, as well as financial resources. And in order to have a vibrant entrepreneurial community or ecosystem, we've got to have all those parts and pieces. So I've funded about 65 companies all across the state of Kansas in the last 15 or so years. I managed 3 small funds. We started the first angel group about 7 years ago, and so we've invested about $15 million in about 15 companies across the state of Kansas, and we want to keep that going. And I think the economy and the opportunity for entrepreneurs has never been greater, and it's about matching up the entrepreneurs and these investors and making sure that they've got all the tools and resources they need to be successful. So that's kind of my part in it, is just figuring out what the gaps are and trying to fill those gaps with support services.
We have an outstanding wealth of knowledge just right here at this table, let alone anybody else who shows up to your conference.
And that's actually something that's most exciting to me. I'm a little disappointed to be an ambassador, only because that means I can't go and listen to and learn from the other mentors and ambassadors who are going to be there. I'm going to be too busy helping out myself, but there's a wealth of knowledge that's going to be at the Unconference, ready to share and help anybody learn.
And if you would tell us a little bit more about what exactly you guys are going to be doing as ambassadors. In a chair.
Well, the first thing with the ambassador part is to try to shine as much light on the ICT Unconference as possible. So obviously getting out and networking as a board member of the chamber, as a chair of the Leadership Council Entrepreneurship Committee, to get out in the existing business community and mature business community and get those individuals to get involved in the conference and again come and collide and be collaborative with the young entrepreneurs that are going to be at this particular conference.
Mm-hmm. And then talk more about the chair. You're a chairperson for one of the committees, is that correct?
Well, I'm a chair for the Entrepreneurship Leadership Council. Mm-hmm. And basically what that is an organization that was put together of about 100 of the CEOs in town, in Wichita, to come together as a leadership group and start to help activate, in this case, entrepreneurship, and to try to accomplish several main focuses of our committee. And one is to work with all these different groups in a very collaborative nature. One, to identify all the different groups that are out there in Wichita and the metro area. And then the second thing is to try to work with them to activate the goals that they have. And so that's one of our focuses. The second focus is for the potential of an investment fund, a private investment fund of the business community and those that want to be involved, to again invest in those companies and those entrepreneurs that are wanting to start companies or grow their companies or at different stages. And so what we want to do is, we know that 2 things that are very important to entrepreneurs is a very qualified labor force, and the second thing is capital. And so this hopefully will meet one of those objectives, to be able to have a fund that will have capital for those particular entrepreneurs that are going to launch on a particular project that we believe that we want to invest in.
Mm-hmm. That's great. You guys have never done this conference before, is that correct?
That's correct. Well, my organization puts on a capital conference every year in the fall, and we'll do that again. And this really, most of the statistics out there show that the job growth is going to come from emerging businesses, and so it's important that we have an ecosystem that supports growing our own. And I think this is an opportunity for the entrepreneurs that are out there, like Kenton and others, as well as Gary and the existing entrepreneurial base, to collide and kind of figure out, how do we work together? How do we help the younger entrepreneurs find their first customer? I would imagine there's probably somebody coding some sort of solution that probably Gary can use in one of his 12 businesses he runs. Right. And so I see that as also some of the benefit that comes out of this. It's about knowing on both ends of the spectrum what everybody else is doing so that we can help each other be successful. And I think that's extremely important.
For sure. We know that our local economy and the national economy, for that matter, has been really struggling, and so any little extra push we can get is huge. Mm-hmm. Who should attend? You talked about it a little bit, but expand a little bit more on ages, business history, all that?
Well, I think anybody who would consider themselves an entrepreneur, if you have a business, if you're employing people, or if you're just an aspiring entrepreneur, that you need to come to this conference. If you care about what's going to happen in Wichita around entrepreneurship, you should come to this conference. I think if you're a small business owner, you're an entrepreneur, you need to come to this conference. I think we need people from all walks of life, as Kenton said, with different opinions, different ideas, different challenges, that will also have different solutions. The more people with the diverse backgrounds and opinions and ideas, the better off we're going to be, and the more solid activity and action we're going to come out of that day with. Because the real objective of this is not to sit around and talk for a day, it's to come up with, if I was going to say what makes a successful day for me, and my intention is to have 4 or 5 solid action items that come out of there where we get different groups of people working together to accomplish something, and we actually get a plan going that day, and then we can monitor it as we go through the year to actually get some things accomplished.
I would agree. I think that from my personal experience, I've been in positions where in business, on startups, you reach a brick wall. And you need to do something, but there's not any clear direction that you can take. There's not a glowing sign saying walk this way. This is an opportunity to find that glowing sign, to find someone with the experience who's 6 steps ahead of you or 20 steps ahead of you, who can point you in the right direction and say this is the best option that you should go on, or maybe you should consider this. I'm excited to see some products that could possibly be launching at the Unconference, letting us know about someone doing something that we have no idea about. That's going to be very exciting.
Mm-hmm. That's probably one of the most exciting things, is meeting people that I've not met before. I mean, I meet with hundreds of entrepreneurs a year. Meeting those that I haven't met before and figuring out some of the new cool stuff going on is extremely important, because there really is a lot of activity going on, but a lot of it's what I would call underground, and we just haven't been out talking. It's another one of those Midwestern matters. We don't talk a lot about it, but there's a reason to talk about it, because we want to get the information out there so that we can be more collaborative, because that will, I think, lead to bigger and better success.
Yep, you're connecting people and those valuable resources.
And I see this also as a catalyst to be able to start an ongoing conversation that continues. So hopefully what we have happen here is we have a lot of these unidentified entrepreneurs that are running around out there, being able to connect with existing business people. And then from there, the important step will be to create a situation where that conversation is ongoing. So once they meet, it's going to be really important to keep that connectivity and then continue to mentor or continue to grow the relationship and move the project forward.
Mm-hmm. I know that other cities have had unconferences. Can you talk a little bit about the successes that maybe they experienced from their conferences?
Well, there was one in Kansas City last fall, which I attended. It had about 350 or so people there. They came out with some action items, and they're in the follow-up stages now. And I think that's what our goal is to make sure that we've, one, got enough of the right people there. We have a great sponsorship base. We've got a great group of entrepreneurs that are ambassadors that are out telling their peers and friends and their other aspiring entrepreneurs to show up. And I think if we get the right people there, we'll have a successful conference. One of the aspects of the conference that we didn't really talk about, there is an opportunity. We have about 10 mentors, and there's an opportunity for conference goers to actually sign up to actually have some one-on-one time with those mentors. Each of these mentors has agreed to set aside a block of 2 hours. So you'll get 15 or 20-minute increments to actually, if you're an entrepreneur, an aspiring entrepreneur, and there's somebody you want to talk to about a specific topic and you want some one-on-one time, then you'll have the opportunity to sign up for that via the website prior to the event, and then those times will be doled out. So I think that was something that came out of the conference in Kansas City that was extremely popular. It was one of the highest rated components of that conference, and so we're excited to be able to bring that piece to Wichita as well.
That's outstanding. As far as people they're hearing this, they're like, this sounds really cool, I'd love to go. What should they bring with them to the conference?
They just need to bring themselves and their ideas and their challenges, because it's really, they're going to get as much out of it as they want to put into it. It's a participatory event, so bring your ideas, bring your passion, and hopefully you'll leave even more inspired with a little extra passion.
Mm-hmm. So should they bring a disc of their work or graphics?
This is really more about just having a conversation and talking about things. And I guess if they've got something to bring that they think is going to add value to what they're trying to explain or communicate, maybe. But really, it's just about showing up.
Okay.
Yeah. Most entrepreneurs know how to do their 90-second pitch. So.
Pretty good at that.
Yeah.
I think bringing some business cards would be a good idea.
There you go.
That's something I always
Business
forget.
cards.
Is there a cost to attend?
Yeah, it's about $99, I think, for entrepreneurs to attend, and then we have a student rate for $59. So.
Okay.
And I would encourage anybody who wants to come, if there's an issue with that. I'm more interested in having the right people there. So if we've got aspiring entrepreneurs that have a problem with that, they just need to give us a call.
Okay, and so give me your 90-second pitch then to get people to attend.
Oh, it comes down to me.
He's the entrepreneur here. Yeah.
So if you care, when preparing for this, I was thinking about a scene in the movie 1980s classic, The Goonies, where Mikey is in the well and he's looking up at the stars and he's saying, that's their world up there, but this is our world down here. And this is our city. This is the place where we live, where we eat, where we go out, where we build, where we are going to continue to breathe. And so as long as we're here and we're doing that, we should try to make it better. At the very least, as an entrepreneur, as a developer, as a person who has an interest in the city, coming to this unconference is going to give you a new perspective. It's going to open your eyes. It's going to bring, you'll walk away with friends and nothing else. And it's going to be a great experience.
Sold. Anything else you guys want to add?
I would just say if you're an entrepreneur or aspiring entrepreneur and you want to be part of something big in Wichita and be part of something that's going to be game-changing, you need to show up on April 22nd at 8:30 at the Wichita Marriott.
You get the final word?
Well, I think my sales pitch is to the mature business community. Again, the question is has Wichita been good to us? And I think those of us that have been in business for a while would resoundingly answer yes. And so I think it becomes incumbent upon us to help the next generation to also be able to take Wichita to the next level. So it's going to be very important for those in the business community that they get involved and they come out and mentor and they stay engaged and they help push the next level or next generation of entrepreneurs up to the forefront. And so I think not only is that an opportunity, but it's an obligation. And we need to be able to say that if Wichita's been good to us, then we need to also give back.
Absolutely. Well, I'm looking forward to having you guys back so you can tell me about how well it went and all the successes.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
And one last question, what's your website?
ICTUnconference.com.
All right. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. We look forward to seeing you at the ICT Unconference.